Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Tiffany and I was tagged here on YouTube by my friend Andrea, Pretty as a Peacock. I will list her channel down below in the eyeshadow Lovers Tag. So this was originally created by Angelica Lyremar. I'm not sure if that's how you correctly pronounce her name, but I will link her channel down below as well. And it's a list of 10 questions. If you would like to participate, I would love to see your answers. Make sure you leave me the comment down below if you have done this tag, because I would love to see yours. But let's start answering the questions, because otherwise you know I'm gonna babble and we'll be here for 10 years. So question number 1 is a palette I regret that I did not buy. That's easy, the ABH Sultry palette for me. So originally I was just drawn to the packaging, but I really love the shades in there because it's just my perfect palette that I can use for every day, for work, and for whatever else my little heart desires. And I'm just really sad that I never got it when I had the chance, because I sleep on things and then it's too late and then I kick myself. So that's just how it goes. So that's easy. That's an easy one for me. A palette I regret buying. So this one's a little funny. So the palette I regret buying is, I went through my collection and I don't really regret any palettes that I buy because I think about them a lot before I actually purchase them, unless I find them on a really good deal and then I'm like, whatever. So that would be one of my very first palettes I had, and it's the Maybelline The Blushed Nudes palette. So this thing does not really have a lot of pigment to it. Yes, the shades are very pretty on it, but there's really not a lot of pigment to these at all. And because of the nature of who I am, I will never just let this go. You know that I'm going to eventually pan all of these shades because I just cannot waste products. So as much as I do not like this palette, I try to force myself every now and then to use it. And it wasn't expensive. I think I paid like maybe $8 or $10 or something for it when I bought it at Ulta, but I regret buying it because now I'm gonna have to use it up. So that is the palette that I chose for that question. Third question is a palette I haven't used as much as I thought. That was a very easy one for me as well. That would be the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. So again, packaging, if you're noticing a similar trend here, I like sparkly things and I love gold and I love pink, and this is a beautiful palette. So when I purchased this, I thought for sure I was going to be using this all the time. I had a photo shoot that my parents actually gave to me as a gift, and the makeup artist that did my makeup for the photo shoot, this is the palette that she used on my eyes, and I loved it at the time, even though it came off really dark in the pictures. But I thought for sure I was going to get a ton of use out of this, and I really haven't reached for it. So I do need to make a point to reach for it because it is very pretty, but this is definitely one that I thought I would use a lot more than what I actually do. A palette I used more than I thought. This one was a little funny for me because we have a cat. We did not have a cat, but now we have a cat, and she's making a lot of noise in the background, so I apologize for that. Okay, that palette would be the ABH Subculture palette. So everyone knows what this looks like. It's very grungy, and I did not think I would love it as much as I did. And this was just in my last month's makeup basket, so I will link that above if you want to check that out. And I love this palette. I know it got a lot of mixed reviews, but I love this palette. And if it wasn't for the fact that I rotate my makeup, I would have kept this in because I want to use it, and it's hurting me that it's put away and I can't touch it because I just cannot touch it right now. But yeah, I just love it. I love the mattes in it, and I love the shimmers in it, and I just love this palette. So that is one I definitely use more than I ever thought that I would. My favorite half neutral, half colorful palette is question number 5. And I'm gonna have to go with Andrea's pick on this one because she did pick the perfect one. And it's another ABH palette, and this is the Jackie Aina palette. So this is new to my collection. It is in my rotation this month. And that video I will put a link to. But like Andrea said in her video, if you cover up this side of the palette, this is your very neutral side, and then you have your colorful side on the other end. And I have been using this because it's been in rotation and I'm loving it. And I love this palette for the fact that it's pushing me completely out of my comfort zone and making me choose shades that I usually typically don't wear on a daily basis and just trying to work with them. So this is definitely my pick for that, and I have to agree with Andrea on that one. The next one is question 6, that the palette that I bought for the packaging. The Tarte Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust palette would have to be that pick because, again, are we noticing a theme here? It's pink, it's sparkling, and I love it. It's just so pretty, and I actually do really enjoy this palette. I have not used it in a while, but I'll probably pull it in spring. And I love Tarte shadows. I love Tarte as just a general company, and they can do no wrong for me. So I do love this and enjoy it, and this was definitely one thing that I had to have based on the packaging. A palette, I like the shimmers more than the mattes. So this one would have to go to my Profusion Classics palette. So it's not that I don't love the mattes in the Profusion palettes because I love Profusion Cosmetics, but I really do enjoy the shimmers in this palette more than the mattes. So I've had a lot of use out of this palette. This is a $5 palette, and if you've never tried Profusion, you have to. They are so underrated and they deserve so much more attention than what they get, and I love them. So yes, the shimmers in here are absolutely gorgeous. These are all like the gold toned shades, and it's just the perfect palette. You can really make it pop if you wet the shadows, and if you don't, they still look beautiful on the eyes, and they just are so stunning. So definitely this would have to be the palette that I love the shimmers more than the mattes. The palette that I love the mattes more than the shimmers would have to go to, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I typically have those, the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. So this palette, I've gotten quite a bit of use out of it as well. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, I do love this one, but for the rest of the shimmers, I tend to use this just for the mattes mainly, and then I will dip into them. But I really enjoy the mattes in this one, and I feel like they just blend out like a dream, and they look beautiful on the eyes, and they just, every time I use this, I always get a look that I like. And for me, that's hard because I'm terrible at makeup, and we all know this, but I am learning as we go along. But yeah, this was definitely the pick for that number, for that question. Okay, the palette that happily surprised me. If you watched my last makeup basket, you'll know what it is. Becca Volcano Goddess palette. So again, this one another one that got a little bit of mixed reviews from what I had seen, but I love this palette. So this palette is absolutely gorgeous. A lot of my palettes kind of look the same. They kind of go with the same shade ranges, but I guess that's just what I'm comfortable with. But all of these shimmers are absolutely beautiful. They look gorgeous on the eyes, and the mattes that are in here blend out really beautifully. And I love the formula of Becca eyeshadows, and I don't know. It's interesting when you actually start collecting, because then you really start to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And I thought for sure I might not enjoy this when I got it because I swatched it and I was like, I don't know. But once I started using it, this made me very happy. So again, this is the other palette I had last month that I was really sad to put away, but I do want to give my other palettes attention. So I will be really excited to use that one again in the future. And then the palette with the most interesting color story. So again, for me, I typically go with the same the same color stories in my palettes and just go for your basic neutral shades that have some pops of gold, and I'm pretty boring when it comes to that. But this one, to me personally, is an interesting color story because it's just so far out of my comfort zone and colors that I probably might never even touch, but I'm gonna try, and just kind of, to me, don't make sense. But I'm sure they do to everyone else that knows makeup, but to me, they don't. But this is the Lunar Beauty Strawberry Dream Palette. So first of all, I love packaging because that's just right up my alley. But so I've used this a couple times, but for me, I just don't get it. Like, I know you guys are gonna be like, you're dumb, but I just don't get it. So in my eyes, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this, and like this? What am I supposed to do with that? Because I just don't know what to do with it. Like, do I put it with these shades here? Like, do I put these together? Or do I put them together like a row? Or do I just, like, what am I supposed to do with this one? Where does this one go? Like, that's just how I think, because I don't know makeup, so I just kind of learn as I go. But this one would be definitely something I'd have to watch tutorials on to see what other people do with it, because I don't have a clue in this world. And to me, it just looks like a it just looks like a bunch of colors that were just thrown in there and said like, hey, that looks good, let's put that together. So that's definitely my pick for that. And please do not make fun of me. I know, I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I'm honest about it, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. So that is going to wrap up this video. And if you want to see swatches of things, I do swatch a lot of my products in my makeup baskets. I just started that on my channel. I'm really enjoying doing them. And any kind of haul videos, anything like that, I always do swatches. And I have another video or two coming up that are going to be hauls that will have all of the swatches of all of the new palettes that I've recently picked up. So if you're not yet subscribed, make sure you do so. And the fun part here now is where I'm going to tag some friends here on YouTube to do the same tag. So I'm going to tag my friend here, Jessica, and I'm going to tag here my friend Nona. And I'm also going to pick the sweetest friend of mine that I have here that needs love and support and attention, because she's just perfect, and her name is Erica, and she's EriLovesMakeup. And of course, I will link all of those channels down below. So if you would like to participate, again, jump on in, and I will have all of the questions linked down below so you can answer them as well. And I just thought this was fun, and thank you to Andrea for tagging me. So that is going to be it for today. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye.